Hi everybody, so this is the video where I'm just going to go through and explain how to use this patch that I'm calling Kronos. And it's a copy of Saturn by FabFilter if you didn't see the other video. So this is it. If you download the patch, this is what you will see. And as you can see, these are mostly macro 4, so there are a lot of controls here, but once you get the logic of it, it's not so bad. So each of these, if you look in, will have a label. I wish it showed up somewhere here, but it's already pretty crowded. So in here, also if you watched the original patch, you'll see I added 4 more different shapers in here just to give a little bit of variety, since the original plugin Saturn has a ton of different options. So this knob here is the low type. So I'm in low 1. As you can see, it says 1 in parentheses. That's because sometimes it is the only low band that is on, and that happens if you hit this low split button here. It now splits the low band into 2 different bands at whatever frequency you have this set to. I'll get more into that a little bit later, but for now, back into this main group of macros. They all work the same, so I'll just go through it on this low one. So here I'm selecting the different types of shapers that I have. So if I remember correctly, it's going to go saturator in the first spot, and then in the second spot is distortion, then push, Chebyshev, heat, howl, shred, hard clip, and it goes in that order just because I added these later. And I just want to mention that you can change any of these out to anything that you want, but if you do, you'll have to reassign these macros. Not the low type, you just replace the one. So let's say if I wanted to put diode here, oh, it looks like this actually already is mapped. I thought you'd have to change it. So this selects the type, and this knob selects the drive. Yeah, the diode 2 is getting that. So I'll change that back. Here we go to the original. So go through there and try out all these different shapers, see if there's some that you like, or you can make this larger. Oh, you can't. You could add another one of these and then a selector between them, but that's a whole other thing that I'm not going to get bogged down with at this time. So that's just selecting the saturation character. Then the next one is low 1 mixer, and you can select dry level from 0 to all the way up here, and you can select your gain level 0 to all the way up, and then you can pan the dry and pan the dirty signal, which is pretty cool. What's next? So this is low 2 mixer. Now this doesn't do anything unless you have this low split selected, and now you'll be getting both the low 1 and low 2 bands, and it works exactly the same as the other one. And once again, to reiterate, the types are all contained in this first macro 4 here. So you'll be doing all of your saturation, distortion type stuff in this one. Then you have 2 separate patches for the mixer. This has the feedback for both. So turning this up will increase the amount of feedback in the mix, and this increases the amount of delay time in the feedback loop, which once I'm playing, playing something, I'll play around with that a little bit so you can hear it. And then same things here. So it's just a reiteration for mids here. and highs. All of this will work exactly the same. And then here we have our low frequency split and high frequency split. So what this is doing is, so without this on, I'm just in 3 bands here, and that is selected by the frequencies here in this crossover, and you can change the base frequency that you are going from. But once you select it, now if I move this low frequency, it's changing the cutoff here, and this is changing the cutoff here. So the mids will be getting whatever is between these 2 frequencies. Then I mentioned here low split. We have another one for mid and high. So if we have those buttons on, basically you can go from anywhere between 3 and 6 bands. If you split one of them, you've got 4 bands. If you split 2 of them, you've got 5. Doesn't have to be any particular 1 or 2, but if you split them all, you have 6 bands. So with that, with any of these split, you can then split the sorry, that's here now. If you have the bands split, you can then change the cutoff of those ones. So let's say here I have low split on. So now this is getting everything below whatever frequency that is. And the secondary band here, you can then also move so that you're affecting what frequency gets sent to the low 1 band and the low 2 band, and then you can do the same here as well for the mids. You can see that here in the yellow, right? And the highs as well, right? Oh, it looks like I did that one backwards. Let me fix that. No, this should not be there. Cool, glad I caught that. All right, so now we have this going in the right direction. Great. And I have not put this patch online yet, so that will be fixed in the version that you get if you download it. So finally, this wasn't really necessary, but I just ended up doing it this way. There's this master mix, and I have them all set to minus 12 dB, so you can boost them up here and or cut them if you want. But no matter what you do here, if the band is split or if it is not, it's going to affect the whole low band, the whole high band, or the whole mid band. So if I boost this, right, because the low band is split, it will boost the whole low band. I probably should have done away with the secondary mixers here in each of these and just done this as 6, but honestly, I just really didn't want to. The truth of the matter is you probably don't need to do anything with this. It's just there if you really want to. But all of these controls are also here, right? So this, you have the ability to specifically mix just the low 2 band, right, with this one, or the low 1 band with that one. But you could have some fun with it. Okay, so now I'll just play a little, and here, let me actually just save that with the change. And it just So, I have this in a chain device because it's nice to be able to gain match. You do not have to do that, but you can. So with it off, here is what it sounds like. And this is on the keyboard. So as of now, not doing a whole lot. I'll just change some things around and see what happens. I'll focus on the mid bands, maybe. Got some feedback going on in there. I better just turn that off. You can get some cool effects with it, but... And then I do think it's kind of cool to use this as an effect. But that's very intense. So it might, for example, be cool to hook this up to, you know what I think I want to do here just to keep it a little more tidy. You can hook this up to modulators. And oh, I see. I'm in the wrong chain device here. Keep this one on, of course. So now, like, I can put an AHDSR onto the feedback. Let's see how it happens here. sounds pretty cool is, let's see, what if I throw an LFO on the mid split? That's pretty nice. So yeah, it's Bitwig, so playing around with all this stuff would just be super cool. Let's look at, what am I on here? I want the mid one mixer will do. I'll do a random, and I will make the random fully smooth and modulate both of, and let's make bipolar. And this one I'm going to just change the rate of, let's get this back open here, not that you really need to see it. And now this one is going to modulate the saturation pan. Let's see what happens now. Pretty nice. I'm sure you could even, modulate the distortion types. That would it might get a little jarring, but it could be awesome. Let's just have, I always do this. Let's just have a listen to how that sounds. I'll do, let's try dotted eighth notes here. And this will just be positive because it's only going in one direction. Let's see how much we can hear this. Might need to change the cutoff. Make this faster. Weird, could be cool. Okay, I am going to I'll just turn that one off because the rest of it is adequately decent. So now I mentioned in the original Saturn that there is a dynamics processor, and I honestly think the easiest way to handle this is just to get Kronos, set up how you want it to be, and then put a multiband dynamics processor in here. Now, this is just the native multiband dynamics. You'd probably want to tweak it a little bit, and you would want to match it to the number of bands that you have. I didn't feel like doing all of that for this, but if you wanted to have more than 3 bands, so 4, 5, or 6 bands, let's say you wanted to split. Where am I here? Okay. Let's say you wanted to split this one. You would then add in a multiband FX2 here and take both of these, copy them into the low, and also move them into the high, and then you would just need to set your crossover frequency to somewhere in the middle of these. So, somewhere probably around 500 hertz-ish. And again, you would want to probably match this to the actual patch rather than choosing arbitrary values like I am, but it's cool. And again, you could go ahead and assign whatever modulators you would like here. you know, if you wanted to do some other stuff with it, if you wanted to use it as an expander or whatever you want to do. Okay, so that's going to be it for my run through here, and I hope you like the patch. I think it's pretty cool. I think Saturn is cooler, but this is also $150 cheaper. So thanks for checking it out. Have a beautiful day. I will see you next time.